Each month, we invite the Tulsa Police Chief to stop by, talk with us about some of the top issues facing the department. This morning, we welcome back to the program Chief Wendell Franklin. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Appreciate you coming in, as always. I want to start off with a story that's gotten national attention. Of course, out of Owasso, the death of high school student Nex Benedict. Some people have gotten very frustrated about how slow the process has been, the release of information, some misinformation. This has nothing to do with TPD because you're not involved, but from your perspective as a police chief, how do you go about handling these with public information, accessible to people, but also protecting the investigation?
Yes, certainly. We don't want to release all the information because there is still an investigation going on, typically. So, we're very cautious about what information we release. And certainly in this incident in Owasso, you have juvenile involved, so those also have its own measure of anonymity that you have to keep with those investigations. And so I feel for the Owasso community, the police chief there, and this just goes back to we should not be making assumptions and putting out information that's false, that really impedes investigations and really makes the community more upset. This is already a tragic situation.
Explain to us about resource officers versus a police officer, because Tulsa Police in Tulsa community, Tulsa Public Schools has their own campus police?
Yes, the Tulsa Public Schools has its own campus police. We do have a school resource officer that goes around the campuses as well. Other communities have school resource officers that are assigned from the police department to the school. So in our instance in Tulsa, the Tulsa Public Schools would defer and call us in to do those investigations for them if it were a serious investigation such as what happened in Owasso.
I also want to turn our attention, some people may have read in the paper a week or so ago about a survey that was conducted by the Fraternal Order of Police. It stated a large percentage of those surveyed believe that there is low morale in the police department. There are concerns with leadership. The article did have you mentioned in it, but I wanted to give you a chance to address that as well.
Yeah, certainly. So, it's tough being in law enforcement today, and in our department, we've had such high turnover, such attrition. We're growing our department. We've had a lot of new positions created. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 61% of our lieutenants are new in their roles since 2019. So that's quite a bit. We don't have that stability currently. I think that's going to fan out. It's going, we're growing pains. These are growing pains. We're bringing younger officers on. We're attritioning out a lot of the older generation. So it is very complex and complicated. And I understand. I mean, we are heavily scrutinized. I have high standards. I have a high accountability rate, and I want that because I want the public to know when I step up to the microphone or I'm going to talk, that what I say what I'm doing, and we're doing what we say we're doing.
You do feel like you shoulder that responsibility then? Oh,
I shoulder the responsibility for everything that happens on our department, good or bad. I will take that all day long, and it's a tough role. It's a tough environment. So I understand that.
All right. I want to talk about a partnership. A lot of times businesses will come together and help agencies that help you. So explain about this Quick Trip funding and how how the police department will ultimately benefit.
Yeah, so QT, obviously, I don't think they have not donated to United Way and some of these other nonprofits before. They've done that, but obviously they're doing so in a bigger way now because they understand the needs of our community. They understand that homelessness and some of the other issues that reside in our community are not just law enforcement problems. We respond to them, but we really need those back-end services to be able to provide the necessary care for individuals. So with Quick Trip coming in and giving to the United Way and of course all of those entities within that feed off of the United Way, that does nothing but help us and You know, we have a lot of mental health response that we do, and we use those nonprofit partners to assist us in that.
Great. I want to take just a quick second as we wrap up. We were talking in the commercial break, the accident that happened this week involving the Tulsa fire truck and the fatalities associated with that. You know, as a law enforcement agent and certainly as one of those first responders, it's just a tragic situation, and we just want to remind people to be very cautious when they're out.
Yeah, correct. We are still investigating that scene. And just remind people that when you hear lights and siren, and when you see lights, red and blue lights, pull over to the right. I was stopping a car yesterday, and the person stopped in the middle of the lanes of traffic on a side street.
Yeah,
yeah. So.
Yeah. Some people just panic, don't know, and there's a lot of young drivers out there too. So anyway, we'll appreciate you as always. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you again next month.
Okay.
All right.